The wine that changed my life. Today, we are going to decide in a blind tasting, arguably the best Australian Gamay, in my opinion, Sorrenberg. Left to right, wine number one.
But we have some serious firepower in today's massive lineup. Bass Phillip, Far Rising, and many cult producers in the mix. Oh la la, they smell very good.
12 wines, in fact, all Australian, all ready to be blind tasted by Master Sommelier Carlos Santos and myself, Angus O'Loughlin.
Gamay has been around for a very long time, and it seems to be back in force. From Beaujolais to Australia, from such a huge range, it will be very interesting to pick up a favorite.
Now, we won't know what wine we're tasting, but you will as we live assess each of the 12 wines, rate them, price them, and I try and pick out my favorite from the lineup, Saurenberg. It's time for the reveal. Ooh. Firstly, I want to shout out to our listeners. On our stories, I talked about Gamay, and this is how this came up. I looked in my cellar, found a 2024 Gamay from Sorrenberg, and I just put a shout out. If anyone has a 2019 vintage, let me know. I'll sell my firstborn child for it. And then about 5 people didn't buy it, but sent me a link to 2 bottles that were available in Australia, and they sent it to me. I bought them. So I now have like my goat wine and the wine that changed my life in my collection. Now, it actually came from, I was having drinks in Adelaide. I used to live in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's a long way from your pack wine, your goose, what is it? Goon wine?
Goon? I never drank Goon.
Nah, bullshit. You said that in the first episode.
Well, I mean, Brown Brothers, Dolcetta Moscato, or whatever that is close. Yeah. But I went up to a bar in Adelaide. It's a beautiful bar called 2KW, and they had a somm there. She was obviously amazing at her job because she put a glass of 2019 Sorrenberg Gamay in my glass. Now, it probably was around 2019 or 2020, so it was a new vintage then. And I remember after all the beers and probably Chinese food we'd have at Tea Chow that day, I still remember that hitting the palate. And just like, have you ever seen Limitless with Bradley Cooper?
Yes, yeah.
When he takes the tablet and his world just opens up. And for me, it had that effect. I probably would have been one of the first times that I'd ever had Gamay. Certainly the first time I'd heard of Saurenberg, and that wine is now just a piece of my wine history. And so when I put that Instagram reel up, we had so many people tell us they know a better Australian Gamay. I would easily say over 50 DMs of people suggesting Gamays. So what do?
Yeah.
We went out and bought a bunch of them, and a really cool piece as well. A bunch of wineries actually sent us their wines to go up against Saurenberg in this blind tasting.
Nice. Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, super interesting for sure. Super excited. I mean, Beaujolais was such a big thing, and a lot of our listeners in the US, of course. So, 70s, 80s. But here we are trying Australian. So
exclusively Australian.
Exclusively Australian. So it's like a counterpart for the top French.
And your starting lineup of 12 wines begins with, in no particular order. Literally, this is definitely not the order. It's just so you know what our wines are. Here we go. The 2023 Sinapius Vaughan's Jardin Gamay, $60 from Tasmania.
Then we have the 2023 Bass Phillip Gamay from Gippsland at $80 a bottle.
The 2024 Timu Maya Gamay, $55 from the Yarra Valley.
2024 Bannockburn Gamay, $45 from Geelong.
Far Rising Gamay, $60 from my hometown Geelong.
Your favorite, 2024 Sorrenberg Gamay at $70 from Beechworth.
The 2024 Gum Wine Gamay, $40 at retail from Heathcote.
So the Caitling Wines Gallard Gamay 2024 vintage, $34 from Adelaide Hills.
The 2024 Lions Will Estate Gamay, $49 at retail from the Macedon Ranges.
So 2023 Beyond the Pine Wind River Gamay. So and we have 180 from the Adelaide Hills at $32 a bottle.
And finally, the 12th wine, but maybe the second wine in the lineup, the 2023 Elridge Gamay, $65 from the Mornington Peninsula. We're very excited for this lineup. As we said, we don't know what they're going to be. We have 4 wines in front of us. Producer Amelia has kept this as secret as a deal or no deal briefcase. Wine number 1, Carlos.
Yeah.
Salud, my friends.
Salud. How do you feel about number 1? And I know we
did assess them all in the nose, but focusing on number 1, it is the least aromatic for me.
Yeah.
I've already tried it on the palate. It's the only wine I've tried. Okay. It's got quite a short finish. It doesn't feel very rounded or very complex to what I imagine we're going to be lucky enough to taste today. But it does feel like a very entry-level wine. Yeah, not my favorite. I'm going to be going off, I'm just going to go off a vibe.
Yeah, cool. No, that's fine. That's fair. I'm going by the notes I have, which are obviously winemakers' notes or website notes from each producer. I do agree that I wouldn't say less aromatic necessarily. I would just say different aromas definitely from the other ones. It's more fruit-driven than actually green, stemmy, or even that carbonic that you see typically on those wines. So okay. That's number one. Number two.
This is the one that I called off the nose as Far Rising. It's got a unique...
Far Rising is Geelong.
Yeah, but I love Far Rising. Their Sangreal Pinot Noir is one of my favorites. I've had their Gamay a bunch of times. I've even had Philippa Far, a bunch of her Pinots as well.
Cool. And it's right next to Bannockburn, so it's literally across the road. Gary, by far, was once making the wines at Bannockburn. I think in the late 1970s. And then, obviously, there was a partnership where he moved then to make the wines too, by far.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it like it's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
yeah.
That is a great history on Far Rising. But for me, just straight off the nose, it gave me that unique terroir that I feel is by far.
Cool.
We were at a trade tasting only a weekend and a half ago. They were there. As soon as I got it on the nose, I was like, it's a Far Rising Pinot that we're about to try.
Cool.
On the palate, it does confirm my ideas of Far Rising, but less than on the nose. As confident as I was on the nose that this is Far Rising Gamay, I am less confident on the palate, but I am still writing that down as my guess. It's gorgeous. It's really well-made wine. I've rated it 8 out of 10. I think it's at least $60 plus. Whereas I thought the first wine was 4 out of 10, just to give a comparison, and I'd pay $30 for it. This wine is just like, you can taste whole bunch. You can taste the soil. It's interesting. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you put this in front of me at a dinner table, and I'm going to be fascinated by this wine. And hopefully, the rest of my dinner guests want to talk about it. So that's my thoughts on number 2.
I pick a little bit of smoke in this wine on number 2. So I think there's a little bit of oak in this wine. Number 1, I did not get that as much. Number 2, I pick a little bit of oak. So I do think that this wine was elevated in oak, and not necessarily all old oak. So I think there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say new oak either, but a few years old where there's still a little bit of oak involved and actually influencing the wine. That's what I mean. So that's for me number 2. Won't be calling producers, but. Yeah, that's how I feel. A little bit of oak, wall bunch. I
also want to say just like how lovely that long finish was on number 2. As we move on to number 3.
Aromas.
I've got this.
Sorry, I think number 3 is for me a more overall round aroma. There's fruit. There's a little bit of spice. There's a little bit of almost like peppercorn. A little bit of grounded black pepper. I find it a little bit more floral as well, more fragrant. A little bit of a little bit of baking spice as well. So again, a little bit of oak in this wine as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things I had. For me, it also tastes and smells like cold influence wine.
Yeah, a little bit. A cold ferment for sure, where they impart a little bit more aromas as well.
Yeah, less ripe than number 2.
Not quite as far as the carbonic maceration, bubble gum, and all that banana stuff, but semi-carbonic for sure.
A shorter finish on number 3. For me, it smells like tastes on the palate like strawberries that have got a little bit more than when you get a beautiful juicy market big strawberry that looks like really kind of sweet. This isn't that. It feels like you're getting a bit of that rind, that white edge of the strawberry, kind of bringing a little bit of bitterness to the fruit. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but just saying...
It's giving acidity for sure.
Yeah,
it's the most acidic of the tree.
Yep.
Which could lead us a little bit to cooler climate. Not that any of them come from any moderate or warm climate, but definitely a cooler part of any of the regions or the cooler vintage or whatever. Yep. But for me, it's the highest acidity of the tree so far. Which is my preferred so far because I really like acidity in wine, and I do pick the different layers of aromas. So the fruit, the floral, the spice. So far is my favorite.
Oh, I'm calling that 6.5 out of 10, and that's a $40 Gamay for me. And as I move on to number 4, the most interesting nose of the lot for sure. Number 2 certainly for me tells a story. This for me tells fruit, but also for me it has a greenness to it, which I presume would be whole bunch.
Yes, yeah, that's completely whole bunch. The stem, so soft pressing or weight pressing. The semi-carbonic, I really think explains it well, where the top grapes are crushing the grapes at the bottom. Is anaerobic fermentation where there is no oxygen and they start creating the carbon dioxide. It starts fermenting from the bottom, and then it creates this beautiful aromatics.
I've had it on the palate as Carlos assesses it now. If you liked acid on the last one, you're going to like this, I think. It feels to me medium plus. Also feels like sort of the most tannic of the 4 wines so far. Just kind of swirling that around the palate. Feels quite grippy. I tend to agree. I think acid was still higher on number 3. I feel like he is a little bit less acid than on number 3, but I do feel more tannin, which again could be more pressing as well. So one of the wines, by the descriptions, that has used more pressing or more maceration as well with the skins, where obviously there's more extraction. I'm putting that as a 6 at $35. That rounds out this flight for us. You, of course, know what wines we're talking about. We have no idea. Just to go through once again my notes quickly, just rating. Number 1, I had a 4 out of 10, a $30 wine. Number 2, I had an 8 out of 10, $60+ a wine. Number 3, I had it 6.5 out of 10, $40. And number 4, I had 6 out of 10, $35. If you're listening to this, we're probably going to take 5 minutes as Amelia pours us 4 new wines. But for you, it'll only take seconds. And we'll also check in with Alan quickly.
Okay. Let's do 4. Glass 4. Same sort of thing. We get that sort of ruby color. Small amount of rim variation. Yeah. This definitely has those tertiary notes. It's almost meaty. Earthy. As well as raspberry, cranberry. It's Pinot blended or something that gives that sort of earthy note to it. That's probably so far my favorite, but it's pretty close with 2 and 4.
And just like that, we are back with 4 new wines in our flight, of course, drinking them out of the Riedel Pinot Noir glass, my favorite, the Performance, as we start on the wine on the left, which will be wine number 5. This one has like a little bit of like the charcuterie, but the fattiness, the white fat next to the prosciutto bit.
Hey, but look at the extraction on color. It's like purple staining tears. Really lifted, a little bit more peppery, a bit more spicy, and that staining tears. It's almost look like a Malbec.
Do you know, one thing I'm going to find interesting from today's recording is whenever I have a bottle of wine, I kind of take the label as fact. So like the great thing about having so many Gamays is recognizing the difference between the Gamays.
Yeah.
And obviously finding a personal preference for the palate. But also this tastes the least like Gamay. Out of the 4 that we've already tried, this one does feel highly extracted, medium plus acid, less complex and a shorter finish. In the same way that I sort of talked about wine number 1, I feel that the same in this instance. And by that I mean, a more entry-level Gamay.
This is it's really bubbly. It's really bubbly, really fresh, really fruity. It's youthful. A lot of staining tears again. Little spicy. It's quite nice. But I don't think it's one of the top wines.
No.
But it's delicious. I mean, like you chill this a little bit in the summer, as you said, with charcuterie, with fatty meats. As in charcuterie. smoked meats, I would say. Yeah, like
Okay.
charcuterie board. This is perfect, delicious, with nice fresh bread and a little mustard,
Yeah.
a little terrine, duck terrine,
If I'm having all of
and
those foods you've
pickles.
mentioned, though, I'm probably going to pick something else out of these 12. So I'm putting that down
Fair
as
enough.
a 4.5 out of 10 and a $30 bottle of wine.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to be wrong, by the way. Obviously, I will be. I'm probably having a Bass Phillip.
Number 6, pretty staining as well. But then again, that's Beaujolais, that's a Gamay. Color, it seems pretty youthful. So if I was going to say 22 or 24, I would say this is 24. A lot of wall bunch as well. There's a lot of green, herbal, stalky on his wine.
We're back into the swing of things. For quality is there. On the palate, though, I want to say it's slightly unbalanced. For me, the integration, in the same way I felt about maybe number 2 and number 4, I feel like, well, definitely number 2 as a well-integrated piece of wine. I feel like the alcohol here yells out at me a bit too much. And I just feel like the tannin, I feel like they're all there.
I like it.
They've hit the mix. I think it's a good wine, but I feel like it's just not completely right and in line with where it needs to be. I think the alcohol's off. I think the tannins are off, but I do think it's a high quality fruit and producer.
I quite like it. I think it's actually delicious. A lot of acidity, a lot of freshness, a lot of elegance in this wine. Spicy, like the mouth is long. It's quite long. I think it's quite long and it's tannic.
I think it's quality fruit.
I think this is the Saurenberg.
I genuinely hope not.
Could be, but
I think it could be Bass Phillip.
I think Bass. Well, look, old school Bass Phillip is not like this.
No. But we're talking about new since the sale.
That's right. This is 2023, so that's a Bass Phillip we have, which I honestly haven't tried. Since I only tried Bass Phillip Gamay from Philip Jones. I have not tried from Jean-Marie Fourier.
The new winemaker.
But obviously he's doing great things. But I don't think this is towards Gippsland. I think this is warmer, is riper.
Yeah, you are right. It's growing on me on the nose.
I think it's
it's
wonderful.
It could be Sorrenberg. You're right. But I'm gonna say it's Bass Phillip.
Okay.
No. Only because, I just think the quality of fruit is there. Just for me, the balance is off. I don't know much about the vintages or anything like that, or how the climate was, all of that piece. And it's been a while since I've had a Sorrenberg, to be honest.
23 is challenging overall. Victoria, Yarra Valley, like very early, very wet winters. So delayed fruit sets, small yields across the board, like challenging. Tasmania seemed to have done really, really well. Exceptional vintage, but 23 wasn't.
I've called it a little off balance, high quality fruit. Bass Phillip ? 8.5 out of 10 and $60+. I'd probably even put that at $65+.
To me, I mean, look, maybe a new modern style Bass Phillip, but it's nothing like the old school Bass Phillip. That is for sure.
What's annoying is moving on to the next wine number 7.
Wine number 7, yeah.
Shows you the quality of what wine number 6 was on the nose. The perfume, the fruit, the complexity. I feel like I really hope I haven't missed out.
7, we up to 7. So 7 for me is much more concentrated on the nose.
Concentrated is a really good word, man.
Primary, like a red fruit punch.
Fruit punch is a great descriptor. It does feel like that. It feels sweet, not sweet, but because it is a dry wine, but a sense of like young sweet fruit, red fruits.
The palate is quite elegant though. It's more subtle. It's not as spicy as number 6. It's more subtle. It's more balanced, but I feel like it lacks the acidity that number 6 had. So I prefer number 6. Probably one of my top wines so far.
Yeah, me
number
too.
6.
Number 2 and number 6 for me. This just feels young. In the same way that all 23, 24, this feels young. I think concentrated is an amazing descriptor for this wine. Feels
huge
like
potential.
Someone squeezed as much as they could out of the extraction of this wine. I'm going to put that down as a 7 out of 10. I'm going to put that at $40. Ooh, we have an interesting wine at wine number 8, Carlos.
This is number 8. This is number 7.
Carlos is going through his
No, I'm
winemaker
just-
notes. No, it's correct.
I'm just.
You
I'm
have the
just-
idea. You get the bottle description.
To be
Why
honest, I
not?
keep changing. I keep
Oh, do you?
changing them all the time. But because obviously, you would have to take notes and reassess later. But we're going this on a flight, so.
And we are trying to be as punchy as possible. Like
Yeah.
Carlos, if anyone saw the, we do a blind wine tasting series at the moment in the theme of Super Vino Bros. And Carlos takes 7 minutes per wine. And we took 10 minutes to do 4 wines. So I am pushing the Master Sommelier to his absolute limit.
No.
So apologies for that, my man. But we are trying to be, time is the greatest currency of all time. And we want to be generous with yours and appreciate you making it to this point with us.
For me, this is the most classic Beaujolais that is in the flight so far.
Mhm.
What is lighter, is way more lively, is more delicate, less tannic, less alcohol than any of the other 7 wines, in my opinion. And even the color tells that. It's a lot lighter extraction. It's really just bubbly, fresh, fruity.
The same way you spoke about smoke on an early wine, I get that on the nose here.
Okay.
A sense of not kind of I guess it's more of an oak influence on this than to bring through that smoke, more as it comes through with the spice. I think it's got a short finish. I think the tannins are more present than most of the wines we've had today.
On this one, most present, you think?
One of them more.
One of them more. Okay.
Yeah, not the most. I don't know which one, but this is
Sure.
gripping
You
my
feel-
teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have the same wine?
Yeah, for me, this is a short wine with gripping
No,
tannins.
honestly, it's not my favorite by any means at all. It's probably one of my least favorites. Yeah, it's delicate. I mean, look, as I said, it's quite delicious if you have the right food at the right time, and they all been really really good so far. But it is one of my last favorites. That doesn't mean it's not good, but just one of my least favorites.
So I've done that at 5 out of 10, a $35 wine.
Yeah, that's what I think. A $35 wine. That's when I put it.
Yeah, I also think out of this, by far the number 6. Going back to it,
Number 6.
It could be Saurenberg. It's either Saurenberg or Bass Phillip. By that I mean it stands out from the crowd in the same way.
or the far rising, because I
Great
think
call.
the
Do you know what?
Because the by far is a little bit like that as well.
You're exactly right. It's that terroir driven nose.
Yeah.
I think it could be by far,
Yeah.
but it's either one of the 3: Saurenberg, Bass Phillip, or by far.
And they also different, and we're talking about Beechworth, Gippsland, and
Geelong.
And Geelong. So
Yeah.
and they're not they're not similar, by a lot of means, but
Yeah, it could be. Carlos,
but it's something that we recognize. I think.
we do recognize it in the same way. I'm going to go back on my word, not just because you said it. I think that could be. No, I called Far Rising. I'm going to stick with what I said. It could be Far Rising for sure.
Look.
It's one of the 3. The quality jumps out of the glass. I'm sure that's an expensive wine in this lineup, which is still, quite value. Most of the wines are less than $90, $80 is I think the most
But this
expensive.
just goes to say that we tried 8 Gamays so far, and they're all really delicious. I think it just shows the quality. If we're probably making a 12 random Beaujolais blind tasting, you probably say, "Oh man, what is this?" If you just go off whatever, like we did, because we picked maybe 3 off the top, right? That are known as top Gamays in Australia, and everything else were bottles that produces scent, other bottles that we were recommended, and that's what we're tasting, right? So if we were to do the same in Beaujolais, yeah, of course, there's the really, really top end stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot, and I know, of course, there's a lot of wines that you'll be like, oh my God, what is this?
And as we take a quick break to our last and final flight, we do want to shout out those producers who did send us the wines, Gum Wines, Lion's Will, Beyond the Pines, Catlin Wines, and Eldridge all sent us their wines, and we're very appreciative of it. Also, if you're wondering why Alan is sitting in the room by himself, 2 of the winemakers were meant to be here today and pulled out this morning 40 minutes before the recording, which is not good because we had 50 people who wanted to be here today, and we also had somebody pull out last night saying they were sick. We're meant to be 4 people here today. Alan's in there by himself, being an absolute goat. Speaking of which, we'll throw to Alan. What were your favourites of the flight?
I think for this one, 6 was definitely the standout. Very different stylistically, very earthy, I thought. That was sort of what I got the most out of it. But then I think in terms of just overall so far, I tend to think it was like 2, 6, and 4 is where I land.
All right, and we are magically back. The magic of editing. We are here with our last 4 wines, 4 Australian Gamays, and we're going to find out which ones are best. We were just talking outside about some of our favourites so far, which are the same ones that we've spoken about on the show. So let's start at number 9, Carlos.
Yeah. And this is really, really interesting exercise. And I don't want this, I guess, by any means, and I'm sure it's the same with you, by any means that, we're trying to pick the best Australian Gamay, but, this is out of our own personal opinion.
It's right.
Course,
and our own palate,
it's
which is...
not...
No, I called number 1 4 out of 10. I don't mean that to be in a destructive way or a mean way. I'm just trying to find out what I believe to be the best in the lineup is, and I put that at 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Might, now that we're
I
here,
did enjoy it because I did find it being the least wool bunch.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a lot, but I picked the least. I picked it one of the fairly elegant. So again, all of them been quite nice.
Yeah, and we appreciate the people who sent them in. Obviously, we bought a bunch as well. So yes, our opinion, my opinion especially, does not mean anything. Of course, Carlos is a lot more dignified in his responses. Number 9 feels quite, what's the opposite of elevated on the nose? It doesn't feel very aromatic. It doesn't feel like there's much perfume here. The colour feels quite, from a colour perspective, feels very light in comparison to some of the wines we've had today. I would definitely say this would be a 2024, if anything.
Full carbonic, really bubbly gum, really lifted, fresh fruity. It's one of that you want to definitely chill to, like 14, 15 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And happy days. Summer, balcony, or, rooftop, whatever. This is one of those. Delicious, crunchy red apple skin.
Yeah, a crunchy wine. I had cheap and cheerful. And I don't mean that like cheap is in a bad word. I just mean if you're looking for exactly what Carlos has said, nice fruity punchy wine. Well, I'm hoping this is around the $35 mark.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I would put it. I find it shortish.
Yep.
Like maybe 8 was a little bit as well. So 8 and 9. But who knows? It's nice still though. It's not nothing wrong with it.
We're not trying to be too negative, of course. Yeah. Number 10.
Number 10, smoke.
Yeah, fun nose.
A lot of smoke.
Yep. Definitely got some more secondary and complex aromas on the nose.
Bit more tertiary as well. I would say this is probably one of the 23, but may not be. May just be, smoke. May just be the quality of fruit. May just be, the winemaking.
This is a nice wine. Yeah, straight up, really, really nice wine. Well balanced. Good winemaker. Just saying the words that come to my head as it finishes on my palate. It does feel whole bunch. It feels like a 2023. Like it feels compared to what I believe it to be the 2024 on wine number 9. It feels a little bit more aged. Of course, some wineries do hold back their wines on oak. Yeah, this feels really nicely integrated. I like this wine. This is nice.
10. Oh, sorry. 10. Yeah, I was on 11 already. 10.
Yeah, this is 10.
Yeah, it's concentration as well. Smoke, a lot of fruits, a little spicy. It's this is pretty big concentration. A lot of, even a little bit of oak.
Nice one. 7 out of 10, 45 plus
Herbal.
dollars. Yeah.
Fresh, long. It's nice.
Yeah, nice one.
It's not my favorite, but it's one of the great wines, I think.
I agree with you. I just wonder, in my head, I'm just going through the top 3. If we think we know 2 are the best, which I think we've sort of loosely said 6 and 2.
I think this just needs more time.
It's a nice wine.
I think it just needs more time.
Quality fruit.
He's young right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so far in the top. I got that as 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to put it. It's beautiful. And I just changed it to 7.5 because I wanted to put it above number 7, which I had at 7 out of 10. And I think this is a more expensive wine and a better wine. So 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to number 11. This feels very bright, very fruity, like a bit of a fruit punch.
It's more intriguing. I find like it's not as for me, it is not like revealing everything at once. So kind of you want to go back to it, smell again. It doesn't really show the smoke of 10. It's more fruit driven, but the fruit is quite punchy at the same time.
And on the palate as well, really punchy. I'm just gonna write fruit forward. I don't feel new oak here. I feel old oak, just to kind of get some balance and integration into the wine.
Micro-oxygenation.
Yep. I feel this is a mid-level wine,
but palate long.
Yeah,
is long and is.
I've said it's a mid.
Like, is long and is lifting up like mouth watering like crazy, like high acidity.
Mm-hmm.
Really savory.
Yeah, I just had.
Okay. This
What have you marked?
No, just like high acidity. So, if I'm thinking of all these regions, one that is probably the coolest climate would be Mornington.
What was the Mornington wine that we have on the list?
Eldridge.
Eldridge. Okay. Gifted from Eldridge.
$65.
Okay.
Well,
I don't have it in that price point. I've got it at 6.5 out of 10, $35 to $40.
Mm-hmm.
I've made the mark. As we move on to our final wine, number 12. Ooh, fun nose.
Yeah. Very lifted.
Yeah, sophisticated.
I like that word.
It's in the same way it's fruit forward as the last wine. It's more restrained. And there's a lot more, the fruit, there's more to the fruit. So there's like, in the same way last time it was just like red fruits. This one is more like what's secondary, what's tertiary. It's calling for me to dive deeper into it.
For me, it's floral.
Yeah,
roses,
beautiful. Roses. Yes, gorgeous.
Floral, a lot of red roses, a lot of strawberry, ripe strawberry.
Oh my God, that's a great
raspberry. Palate is high acidity. It's really elegant. It's silky. It's fine.
Yeah, that's nice.
Tannins are really smooth. I mean, you expect that anyway, but
the first thing that comes to my head as a vibe, I'm just calling myself a vibe assessor, is this is the best expression of fruit, I think, out of the lineup, but not the best expression of terroir, as I thought 2 and 6 were. This for me is just like a, and I want to go back and compare it to number 10, in our lineup here, which I called 7.5, which is a really good wine. But this feels like roses at the end of the vines, and I'm thinking about walking down the vines, gladiator style, running my hands along like Maximus. This wine evokes emotion out of me that just makes me feel happy. What a bizarre thing to say.
It's up there, but I think out of my favorites, it doesn't score the highest.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go best fruit expression. I think this is one of the better wines. So what have I marked?
3, 6, 10, and 12. That were my favorites.
I'm gonna say that is the best fruit expression. But it didn't have as much complexity as some of the other wines that I favored, but I really liked it. Number 12. I really liked the fruit, but I just don't think there was that sort of more complex flavors that I was looking for. There's great length and acid on it. It's still in my mouth and my palate. I thought 10 was probably a better wine. So I've named this as, well, not named it, I've put this down as 12. The 12th wine is 7.25 and $45 plus for me. Whereas I had number 10 in the same flight as 7.5 out of 10 and $45 plus. Alan, I'll throw to you. Alan, what are your thoughts on this flight, and what is your favorite wine overall?
I think this is the best flight overall. 10, 7, and 12 were my calls on this one. I think 10 had those beautiful earthy notes, good integration, really nice acid drive on it as well. And then, not 7. Sorry, 7 was the previous one, but 10 and 12 actually were probably my favorites here. So 10, I had great earthy notes, good integration, good acid drive. For 12, that fruitiness and the integration of the different fruits in there was really lovely. 11 was good also. 10 to a great, like, incredible acid drive on that one. It was sort of my note. But so far, I still think 2 has been my favorite. Closely followed by 6. And then it's either 4 or 10 as my third, but probably 4. Overall, really great though.
All right. So here are our final thoughts on the flight of 12 Australian Gamays. I'm nervous. I think we've figured out the top 3. You think top 4?
Well, if we go, let's go top 3.
Okay.
Let's go
Because
top 3.
I'm going to drop number 12 out of my 4 then. So the final one we just had. I loved it. But I think my favorites are 2, which I'm calling Far Rising Gamay. Number 6, I'm calling Bass Phillip. And number 10, I have to call Sorrenberg.
I had 6 as Saurenberg.
Oh, yep. That's our Bass Phillip Sorrenberg debate. I love that.
I had 6 as Saurenberg. I have 10 as Far Rising. 2 maybe as Bass Phillip. Yeah, 2 as Bass Phillip. Not very confident, but obviously this is
And once again, just reiterating,
new winemaking.
I made Carlos push these out in 2.5 minutes per assessment, when really it takes about 10.
We may be completely off. No,
we're not.
It is. We may be completely off.
not
we
off.
may be on the right.
We picked the high quality wines. The high quality wines are 2, 6, 10, and 12.
Timo Meyer. I want to bring Timo Meyer into the call as well as either 10 or 6 as well.
Okay.
So.
Can you please bring out 2, 6, 10, and 12? Ooh.
There you go.
So we just had a reveal. We don't know which one it is. Lion's Will has been revealed. Shout outs to Lion's Will.
Okay.
Far Rising has made it in.
Okay.
Oh my God. Hang on. Build this up.
Yeah, well, so far...
No Sorrenberg.
So
No
far,
Bass Phillip.
I picked 2 so far. Far Rising and Timo Meyer.
I know, but Sorrenberg has made it!
Saurenberg has made it. Yeah, good.
Okay.
That's the 4. And what would be the number 3? Just in case. Just... We picked the 3. I'm glad I said Timo Meyer
Beyond
at
the Pine.
Ah.
So, that's okay. So the third one is Beyond the Pines, which Carlos had as his fourth favorite. $36, bargain.
Okay.
Things to note: no Bass Phillip.
No Bass Phillip. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Yeah.
That's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You've got the price point in front of you. I think
if he was an old school Bass Phillip, he's unmistakable.
Yeah. So we've got, tell us the prices of the wines we have in front of us, Carlos. We've got Sorrenberg.
Sorrenberg at $70.
Bargain. Far Rising.
At $60.
Bargain. Lion's Will.
Lion's Will at $49.
Bargain. And
Timo Meyer at $55.
Bargain. They're all bargains. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, we pick on our 3 favorites. On our 4 favorites, 3 of them.
Okay, so these are both of our 4 favorites. So let's go through which are our favorites. I'll go first because I'm not the master sommelier. My favorite wine is number 6. I'm calling it Sorrenberg. Number 10 is my second favorite wine. It's unknown out of these 2, But number 2, I did call off the nose in the first seconds of this blind tasting as Far Rising, so I'm sticking to it. So my order is 6, 10, and 2.
Mine will be 6 as the Sorrenberg, 10 as the Far Rising, and 2 as the Timo Meyer.
Can we please remove 12? Saurenberg, isn't it? Goodbye, my lover.
Which one was that?
Saurenberg's gone.
So what?
Saurenberg was 12? Which I called as the best fruit expression.
Number 12? That was number 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave it a 7.25 and $45 plus. Best fruit expression.
6, 10, and 2, that's what you said?
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, so what is number 2? Number 2 is Far Rising. No! Wow.
Number 2?
The Timo Meyer is number 2. And then let's reveal number 1. Both of our number 1s. Number 6 was. Yeah, bring that forward.
By far.
Has to be.
By far number 1.
The best Gamay in Australia, chosen by both Master Sommelier Carlos Santos and myself, is Far Rising.
Interesting. Well,
which of course makes one of the great surprises. Lion's Will, the Gamay 2024, comes in at number 2 from both of us. Of course, like I said, rounding out number 3, Tim and Maya from the Yarra Valley, and number 4 from Beechworth, what was my favourite Gamay in Australia. Thank you. Is now Saurenberg. There you go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening or watching to this episode. We know it was a longer episode. Thank you very much. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please consider doing so. Currently, we're releasing episodes every week on YouTube, every fortnight across our podcast channels. If you're not following us on TikTok or Instagram, the links are below, as are all of the wines from today. A big thank you to the producers who put themselves forward. Shout out to Beyond the Pine. Carlos picked that as one of his favourite wines, and big shout outs to Lion's Will for sending in their 2024 Gamay, which came in at number 2. We'll see you on the next episode of Got Some.